Nagamutu. Our constitution is in jeopardy. They're holding on to power for the oil money. Now after 4 years of incompetence, Bharat moved the vote of
Mr. Rajkumar, no.
But if you put them back,
Mr.
they're
Charandas
warning
Prasad,
you.
yes,
Guyana
yes,
will be worse than 92. They drug on corrupt, they thief the money. Durban Park corrupt, they thief the money. The ministers corrupt, they thief the money. They living the good life with our money. On election day, turn out in strength. We put the PPPC in government.
Good evening, a special edition of our program. We've got some critical issues to discuss tonight. With me in studio is Bishop Juan Edghill, MP, a member of the Civic Part of the People's Progressive Party. And why is it so important? We've got about 4 to 5 days left on the claims and objection period. We are urging everyone to make sure their name is on the list and they're registered. We have seen a lot of wordings coming out of GCOM that is confusing the issue. We have spent close to $8 billion on elections so far, $3 billion alone on the House registration. And Bishop, out of the claims and objection, only about 32 people objected to this whole process. But as we go into urging all of our brothers and sisters out there to ensure that they're on the list, and the reason why that is so important is we cannot change anything in Guyana if you're not allowed to vote. And if you're not allowed to vote, then, you know, we have to live with what happens next. Your thoughts?
Well, Peter, let me say greetings to your viewers and listeners, I guess those who are joining you by Facebook as well. And thank you for having me on this program. The urgency of the hour requires that every Guyanese who desire to play a role and who is very concerned about our future, to ensure that you are registered and you're on the list. The official list of electors, which is called the OLE, is what you go to the elections with. The OLE has not yet been published. What we have is the preliminary voters list. You are encouraged over the next few days, 4 days, to check to ensure that your name is on the list. You can do so by physically going to specific places in the community where you live. That blue list is nailed up at the shops, health centers, schools, lots of public places. And lots of those places are places where you go and vote on election day. So you can physically go there and check to ensure that your name is on the list. Secondly, GCOM has made it possible that you could actually go online and check your name on the list. So let's say, for example, you're listening to this program by Facebook and you're currently in New York because you're there to shop for Christmas and you're not going to get home before Sunday. Go to the GCOM website and check your name and ensure that your name is on the list. Now, once you're going to be 18 years by the 31st of December 2019, you are eligible to be registered. I know we have on the screen claims and objections, but the period of time for claims expires on Sunday. After Sunday, there is 1 week where objections could be made and there'll be hearings to determine if people, and I'll come to that just now, if people who ought not to be on the list is on the list. But right now, the big push is to ensure that once you're going to be 18 years by the 31st of December this year, 2019, that you ensure that your name is on the list. If you're a member or you are a citizen of a member of the Commonwealth, or you're a citizen of a Commonwealth country, and you have been resident in Guyana for more than 1 year, you can also get registered because you are eligible to vote. So that is an important piece of information that all of my viewers should share with their brothers and sisters, their workmates, and their friends. Because if you're from a Commonwealth country and you're resident in Guyana for more than 1 year, of course your passport will show the date you were stamped in. You can carry that and show to the registration office, and then you'll be able to get registered, and that you will be able to get on the list. The second thing, Peter, that I would want to emphasize is that the PPPC's dynamic housing program did cause a lot of people to move from where they used to live and where they used to vote. Some people moved since 2006, some moved 2011, some moved 2015, and some moved after 2015. And you would have also had a situation, because where you were living, you were close to family and friends and relatives. Some people have said, leave my name right there, I'll go back home on election day to vote. I'd like to say to you, on behalf of the People's Progressive Party Civic, we are encouraging you to do the transfer and ensure where you presently reside is where you are going to vote. In the area where you presently reside is where you are going to vote. Take no chances. None of us could predict what the environment will be on election day.
And then transportation.
Yeah.
Always an issue.
You know, the last time, 2015, elections ended up being on national holiday and all the rest of it. We don't know what's going to happen this time around. Make it easy for yourself that you could get up on election day, get to your polling station at 6 o'clock in the morning, vote. If you have to go to work, you go to work, or you go back home and you be sit and wait for the results. Don't say you're going to travel from Tushin and you're going to go all the way back to Mahaika. Don't say you're going to leave Diamond Grove and you're going to go to Annandale or Monrepo or Lusignan or Betterforwacton or Buxton or Ants Grove. Make sure that you do your transfers. And we only have until this weekend to do that. So this program tonight, I want to use it, Peter, and thank you for inviting me and allowing me to be here, to appeal to the progressive forces in Guyana, to appeal to all the friends and supporters of the People's Progressive Party Civic, to appeal to all of our friends who are politically neutral, to appeal to all the people who say, well, I'm not interested in politics. This 2020, March 2nd, 2020 election is a very important election. And once you will be 18 years, the age of majority in Guyana, you should participate. And even if you haven't made up your mind at this time, who you're going to vote for, even if you make up your mind the 1st of March, you still have to be on the list. So right now, you might not even be sure which party you're supporting or who you're voting for. That's not the issue over the next 4 days. The issue, excuse me, is ensuring that you are eligible to vote, and that is to ensure that you are not disenfranchised. No one robs you of that opportunity. So please make yourselves available. As I understand it, GCOM's offices are open until 7 in the evening. I think on Saturday and Sunday they start from like 10, I think till 3 o'clock or something like that, or 2 o'clock. So there is a window on the weekend, I think several hours, 10 or, don't hold me to that, I think it's 10 to 2 or 10 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday. But use the time tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Avoid the weekend rush. Ensure that you pick up your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, and all the other source documents that are required for you to be able to do the registration as well as the transfer. And we plead with you, all those of you who are concerned about the rigging. One way in which elections can be rigged is by ensuring people are not on the list. Some people are concerned that one of the ways this government, this new government, plans to rig the election is that they plan to pad the list. But at this stage of the claims, the People's Progressive Party Civic is appealing to all Guyanese, all of our supporters, all of our friends, and even if you're not a supporter, to get registered. After we are finished with the claims period, there will be that 1 week where there will be objections. We want to assure you that we have fielded scrutineers in every registration center across the country. The People's Progressive Party Civic has fielded scrutineers. Our activists are scrutinizing the list. And we also want you to go through the list in your neighborhood. And if you discover there are people on that list that ought not to be in that list because you know they don't live in your neighborhood, then call us at Freedom House. You can call Freedom House in Georgetown, or you can call Freedom House in your various areas, whether it's in the West Coast of Berbice, East Berbice, whether it's West Demerara, Linden, you know, where in Region 1, in Region 9. We have Freedom House all over the country. So you could contact your party activists and let them know that there are issues and there's a process of how we will object to this. All the people who have the fears of rigged elections, because the PNC and the APNU are notorious for rigging elections. The leader of the opposition has assured that we are promoting and we are encouraging the government to invite the international community to scrutinize these elections as one way of avoiding the rigging. We of ourselves as a party cannot rely on foreigners alone. We have to do our part in scrutinizing the list. But at this stage, an action that everyone who wants to see a free and fair election in Guyana, and you're going to be 18 years by the 31st of December, is to get registered. Go on the list, make sure your particulars are correct. If you've gotten married and you want to do a name change, do your name change. And more particularly, if you've moved from where you were living the last time when you voted, go and do a transfer so that you could be near to your polling station on election day. So Peter, I think those are...
Yeah, and for those that did register for the House, even though it was an illegal process, do they need to go also and check their name on the list?
Now, don't get confused by this house-to-house business that transpired. Because a lot of people told me, but Bishop, you know, I supported the party, but you know, I didn't want to get locked up because GCOM was threatening you how you get locked up and so on. So I went and do the house-to-house. Let me tell you something. Don't be fooled. The preliminary voters list that is now posted up across the country had nothing to do with house-to-house registration. That list was extracted from the National Register of Registrants database of all the people who are going to be 18 years. Check and make sure your name is on that list. That house-to-house issue that they were trying to push on us, you know, they ain't going nowhere. Leave that to the politicians to fight and slug that out, because they ain't going nowhere. Look after your interests by ensuring.
And if you were a new registrant and you say you did go to the house now,
still go back now.
And if they haven't come back to your house now to verify something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
So you have to go back out.
So you have to go and verify and that your name is on the list. So even if people came to your house and you were a young person and you got registered for the first time and you posed and you took your picture for your ID card and all the rest of it during the house registration, just imagine that you didn't do it and get down to the nearest center near to you and get registered during the claims and objections period, because this is the time between now and the weekend for you to get on the list. Next week after that, people who ought not to be on the list will be focusing on getting them off the list. But right now we are appealing to you to get on the list.
And as we look at the current events happening in the country, from the lack of maintenance of sea defenses, lack of government initiatives to take care of the economy, that vote becomes most important come March 2nd.
Yes, because you don't have a say if you're not on the list. And we suspect that one of the things that the riggers, the specialist riggers, the PNC disguised now as APNU, would want to see happen is a situation where election day comes and there are a significant amount of people who are unable to vote because their names are not on the list. And once you have that, you can't have credible elections, you can't have free and fair elections, and there are going to be temptations for people to behave bad, because if you show up and your name is not on the list and you know that you're a Guyanese, you got an ID card. So don't wait for election day to make a big noise and have a ruckus. Check it now, because they would like that. You see, we are confident about winning, Peter. The People's Progressive Party Civic. We are not wanting elections. We want elections. And we've had to resist the temptations that the PNC APNU is throwing at us, because they would like to see processes being tied up in court. They would like to create, like, for example, we don't know really what happened at GCOM today, because the chairman didn't keep a press conference, and we were asking her to keep a press conference at the end of every meeting. But some commissioner came out and said that you got 21 days to pick up your ID card, and if you don't pick up your ID card within 21 days, you're going to be left off of the official list of electors. Don't get confused by that.
And that's an illegal process in any case.
The leader of the opposition, when he is briefed by the PPPC nominated commissioners at GCOM, and having determined where that is going, will address you at this press conference, and you will be advised. So don't get flustered and so on by that, because we are anticipating that the PNC, the APNU, will do everything within their power to rig these elections, because they can't win it. You know why we know they can't win it? They haven't done anything for the people of Guyana. If you want to win an election, you don't fire 30,000 people. Just the other day, Ichuni was on protest. A man begging, not for handouts, he just want to work. People don't want a minister going there and giving them some rice and some flour. They want to have the dignity to work. They have mismanaged the forestry sector, so people are out. They have mismanaged the mining sector. Gold is in shambles, lots of small miners. Go on the East Coast, and at 10 o'clock in the day, you see those boys that used to be in the interior, they are lining. Some of them are listening to this program right now. They know I'm telling the truth. You got thousands of sugar workers who have lost their jobs. The taxi drivers are parked up waiting for a job because there's no money in circulation. The nails technician, the barber shop, the hairdresser, things have all slowed down because people are not having disposable income because of the 200 tax measures with tax and fines and fees and charges that they have imposed, and have brought hardships on the people of Guyana. So they are taking more money from people by way of VAT as well as by way of regular taxation. So the people are burdened with taxation. You don't want to win an election when you're behaving like that.
And then with all the confusions with GCOM and what the commissioners are saying, they're actually afraid. So they're trying to create some massive confusion in the nation that wouldn't work. I mean, if you feel confident that you could win an election, they would follow the rules and regulations and do everything right.
So we have to say to all the people who want to see Guyana progress, all the people who want to see the injustices that have been done over the last 4.5 years corrected, people who want to see infrastructure being dealt with and being developed. Look, just as we sit here, news was coming in of a damage and a breakage at a coca at Storkville, water running over the road, floods. Yesterday, the people in Mycone were flooded. People who want to be able to see better for Guyana. You don't wait until March 2nd to act. That is the icing on the cake. You got to prepare, you got to bake the cake before you ice it. And the way you bake the cake is by getting registered. And Peter, I want to be able to hug the tens of thousands of Guyanese in the campaign trail, giving them hope that we will take this country forward. But I also want to dance with them after March 2nd, when the victory comes, because that dance will be a victory for all Guyanese. So we don't want people to be disillusioned and despondent and just sit there in despair. You got to take action now. So we got a few days. Set out a broadcast on your WhatsApp to all your friends. If you haven't been registered, Bishop Edghill is begging you, get registered tonight. If you set out something on your Facebook post, 4 days left for registration, take no chances. Let's all get registered. We will come to you with the issues. We will come to you with our manifesto. We will come to you with our program. If you attend our rallies, you attend our meetings, you wear our jerseys and our hats, and you dance at the rallies, and your name is not on that official list of electors, you're just a crowd filler. But when your name is on the list, you are part of the real deal to make a difference in Guyana. So we implore you, I encourage you, if I could beg you, I'm begging you, all Guyanese, with all sincerity, get out there over the next few days. Don't let anybody trick you. Don't let anybody confuse you that you got registered during house to house. You know we were making the arguments all the time that what was needed was claims and objections and to refresh the list and get on with elections. That's the decision that has been made at GCOM. A preliminary voters list was published. There's a claims and objections period, which comes, the claims period comes to an end in a matter of days. That's how you get on the list. So be educated, be alerted, and be sensitized. If you have not yet taken the time to personally check your name on the list, please do so tonight. Do it online. Go to the corner shop. Go in your area. Carry friends. Carry the young people. You know, so we got some stubborn young people.
Yeah, I ran into a couple of issues today where I asked a few people if they checked their name on the list. They didn't. They says, I asked them, do you have an ID card? They says, yes. They had the old ID card. So they have never went back and registered to get the new ID card. So they assume they're on the list because they have the old ID card. So when they
take no chances.
But no, they have. If you have an old ID card, never got a new ID card, that means you're not, most likely, not on the current list.
Once you were registered and you were on the list at the time of the 2008
yes,
house-to-house registration, and you were registered in the continuous cycles of registration that have occurred since then, you ought to be on the list.
Yeah, but I ran into people who had the old ID card prior to 2008 and never did the continuous
Yes.
registration.
But-
That's why it's so important to double check.
But I don't want people to take chances with this system, because if you're afraid of the rigging, it ain't doing you no harm to check to make sure you got your bona fides. You're in
right to
order.
vote, yes.
You're in order. So I'm urging you over the next couple of days, get out there, uncle. Don't take it for granted. Don't wait until election morning to discover. You mean for tell me to take me name off the list? Listen, no matter how good the computer is, it is make mistake because it's human beings handling it. They might have meant well, but you might end up finding a whole street off the list. Don't let me take chances. Let us all scrutinize the list. And while you're checking for your name on the list, check for your neighbor, check for your cousin, and check to see all who live in the street. And if you discover there are people on the list who you know living on the street, bring it to the attention of the People's Progressive Party civic scrutineers and our activists. We will take care of that in keeping with the law during the period of objections. But right now, it's getting your name on the list.
You know, and as you look forward to March 2nd, and that decision point, as you said, you may not know what your decision is right now, but if you're watching how the economy is going, you're watching what the lack of initiatives by the government, your lack of maintenance, there's no future plan, there's no house lots being given out, there's a lot of promises, failed promises that have never been delivered. So as we complain, sometimes we do like to complain. The only way I can fix that complaint is on March 2nd, and the only way I can fix it is if I'm able to vote.
And some people make the mistake, Peter, people said Barrett is the man because he can talk strong, and Irfan is dynamic and he is young, and Nandalal is bright and he can fight the issues in court, and Edghill is out there fighting, and Ramsaroop is there as well, and they could call all their champions and their heroes, only to discover that an election is not won just because of the charismatic nature of leaders, but elections are won because of democratic actions of citizens. You have to vote. No matter how, if I convince you that I have the best plan, the PPPC has the best team, we are best positioned to bring prosperity to Guyana, and we will get out there very soon. I'll be in every corner and every village. I look forward for that, the campaign, to convince you. But even if we convince you with our issues, because our politics is a contest of ideas, we don't get involved in race politics and abuse out and cuss down and call name, and leave that for the PNC and those who don't have anything to talk about. There's enough in the PPPC's track record in terms of our manifesto plans, in terms of our vision to talk about. We'll get out there to convince you. But if I convince you and you're not on the list to vote, you're just a happy Guyanese who will be saddened, because the numbers really matter.
And if you're disappointed with, we have an unconstitutional president, we have, a man that is not even following the rule of law of our country, you've got to put a stop to that. Our democratic right and privileges is in jeopardy. The more and more Mr. Granger is allowed to continue the bullyism and the unconstitutional governance. And we have that opportunity to put a stop to it on March 2nd. And back to that list.
Bring an end to the madness. And I've been saying to people, long time done, short time left. But take the decisive action over the next few days by ensuring your name is on the list.
Yeah, we weren't able to take the phone calls tonight. I know our time is up. But, I hope by Sunday, or as Bishop said, by Friday, you all would have gone and check your name and do whatever correction. And the big part, if you've moved, we urge you to go vote in your area. Change your address to your area. Election day is madness. We expect more madness, and we want all of our people to have that opportunity to their right to vote and vote in their nearest location possible. Bishop, as we end, what's your last words?
I have good faith in the people of Guyana. I believe you have been battered and bruised long enough over the last 4.5 years. You are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to, your eyes are beginning to sparkle again with hope, because you now have a date for an election, and you know that is the date when Guyana will decide, and Guyana will put a team that is led by the People's Progressive Party Civic to bring prosperity for all Guyanese. Let's do what is right. Let's be honorable in our conduct, and let us continue to ensure that Guyana is secured. Thank you for having me, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Looking forward to meeting you all during the campaign. We're ready. Our manifesto will be released in the next few days, and we're excited about our candidate, the visionary of Mr. Irfaan, Dr. Irfaan. We are proud to congratulate him on his higher education, and we look forward to working alongside all of you as we move into the heavy-duty part of the campaign. God bless you. Thank you.